Hey everyone, and welcome to my experiments with intentionality. So you're probably wondering why the heck are you starting a new series if you haven't finished your first one yet? But I will finish my SDG series. This is for a course, kinda, but I'm using that as a good excuse. So my experiments with truth by Gandhi was an autobiography by Gandhi talking about kind of in general, like the idea of, hey, you can say you believe this, or you can believe in this concept, or say this is true, but until you've lived it in your own life, you have no idea, right, if it's true or not. So for our project, Zabi, really cool instructor, head professor of OEE, if you're looking for an education program, do outdoor and experiential education at Queen's, has told us, hey, just like that, there's tons of stuff on health, what makes you more healthy. You never know until you've actually lived it, right? Lived it for yourself. So she gave us an assignment called My Experiments with Health, and we're supposed to pick something and focus on it and see and journal about it and track the changes. What are the impacts of living that life, or living that thing, putting that thing into your life? So I kind of took a spin on it and said, hey, well, I'm going to do my experiments with intentionality because, as maybe some of you know, I love the concept of intentionality, and I think it leads to huge health benefits and just greater life fulfillment, just from a Bible passage. So here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your everyday ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, all the ordinary stuff, and place it before God as an offering. It's like, holy cow, even if you're not a Christian, you understand the weight of that. Like every single action of our lives, make it intentional, put it, like, be proud of what you're doing. And just so resonating so much right now. One, because at field camp and OEE, we were off our technology and everyone was living in the moment intentionally. It was like unbelievable. No one was just a passive, consumer. And then in contrast to listening to that Tristan Harris video, you should check out my Facebook page if you haven't seen it, on the crazy ways that we are just passive consumers. We are made to be products, actually, of social media companies. And it's just like, holy cow, I do not want to look back on my life and say that I lived it passively consuming stuff, not even knowing, and waking up again thinking, oh my gosh, how was that half an hour? How was that an hour? How was that an hour and a half? Or like another way, eating. We've all mindlessly eaten, and it's like, what? How am I through a jar of peanut butter? Like, that is just ridiculous. Like, I've just gone on autopilot. Anyway, so, and then obviously we know the connection to the SDGs. If we're not intentional, we are in a global community right now, so we have no idea how far our actions impact people around the planet. For example, the cashew thing, where people's fingers are deteriorating because of opening cashew nuts, because we need them, we demand them. Anyways, that's just, okay, if we're living intentionally, the first thing it does is to make us stop and slow down enough to actually even think about what are our actions, like what are we doing, and why, right? And then that makes us kind of introspective, doesn't it? And it says, okay, well, why am I doing those actions? What are the impacts of those actions? Even just from a self-centered point of view, what is happening? Why am I doing that? What do I want out of it? What am I really seeking in life? Right? Who am I really? Where is my worth really? Those are all questions. The cool thing about it is you cannot ask those questions without looking at the environment in which we are actually acting. So all of a sudden it takes us from looking at questioning us, myself, to, hey, who am I in relation to other people? Why do I respond a certain way to them, or a different way to another person, or how do I impact them, right? Do I impact them? If they're hurt, am I hurt? If I'm hurt, are they hurt? And it's just so beautiful to think about, actually intentionally thinking about the relationships in our lives, not just to humans, but to other life on the planet, and just the world in general, the universe in general. Which makes you think, oh man, so cool of this quote. You cannot be healthy if the natural world is unhealthy. It doesn't work, because we are completely, inextricably linked to that natural world, which is so cool. Again, part of my intentionality will be focused on the the natural world, living intentionally in that relationship. So yeah, a couple things. So this course motivated me, and then TJ, thank you TJ for challenging me. Hey, you walk a walk, Robert. Post all these videos. Well, what the heck are we gonna do about it, right? Like, how, hands up in the air. What do you want us to do? And it's like, shoot, yeah, I do talk a big talk. So I'm gonna walk the walk by trying to take this, again, this is a journey. Hey, I want to be intentional. I want to look back on my life and say, hey, I tried to do something about this. So the first is being intentional about my spirituality. And I think, if you don't know, I really believe that we aren't fulfilled, we don't understand our purpose if we don't see ourselves in bigger, wider picture. So that, for me, that looks like reading my Bible, and doing a devotion, and with John, and then my utmost with Victoria, and that's nourishing me. Then you also have to exercise that spiritual side of yourself, and that looks like, well, we are called by God to be grateful for what we've been given, right? To be humble and grateful. So I'm going to send my 5 thankfulnesses. What am I grateful to God for today, every day, to Victoria, as well as do some exercise of getting over yourself already, right? Getting over myself already, as my mom would say, Goya. Get over yourself already and live for other people, right? Accept the love from God and live that love out to other people. And so that's going to look like some act that I've said, hey, I'm going to sacrifice my time, what I want, for another person, and report about it. So that's spiritual intentionality, right? Living it. Hey, if I say I'm going to be a Christian, if I say I'm going to have this faith, I'm going to actually have this faith, and I'm going to actually take steps towards building that relationship with the Creator. Second one is bodily intentionality, which is so huge in our world. We live sedentary lifestyles. We barely understand our connection to our bodies when we grow older. Whether that's what we eat, or how we sleep, or what we do with our bodies. So it's going to start off with 8 hours of sleep every night. My dad sent the family an article on like how crazy the impacts of less than 8 hours. Even if you're getting 7, you're crazily compromised. And it's crazy. And the article said, like, we're the first species to intentionally not give ourselves enough sleep, right? Like, deprive ourselves of enough sleep. It's crazy. So 8 hours of sleep a night. At least getting like sweating, getting my heart rate up once a day for sure. Hopefully the goal would be to do it with other people as well. Encourage friends, obviously, everything. Encourage one another. And then what I'm eating, what I'm putting in my body. So we're actually all on a no processed food month, hopefully, and just eating whole foods and as local as possible. Which gets us to the last thing, which quote I love is, the world can't be, I don't know if I've already said this, but the world can't be unhealthy and we be healthy, right? It doesn't work. We are in this world together. We are part of this dance, whether we like to believe that or not. And David Orr's Earth in Mind, if you ever have time to read a book, read David Orr's Earth in Mind. Just the inextricable links we have to the natural world. It's so powerful. So I've never even actually calculated my carbon footprint. So I'm going to actually track my carbon footprint for the next month. And I'm going to be intentional. I'm not going to track my water usage, but I'm going to be intentional. Hey, how much water do I really need to use for washing these dishes or taking a shower? How much do I really need? How long do I have to stand under that shower head? And then food waste as little food as possible, and compost it, obviously. And then material waste, that article that Tej challenged me on, so powerful, like so crazy. Every pound you make, there's like 20 kilos worth in a landfill, right? Like anyways, it's just, those stats are crazy. Everyone should read that article, but I'm going to keep track. So I'm never going to throw it away. I'm going to keep it in my room. So I have to live with it for a month and then look at it, kind of analyze it after a month and see, hey, where can I be better? I'm trying to live intentionally for the planet because they're part of this family. How can I be better for my neighbors then? Whether it's humans across the world where we dump our waste, or the natural world that's being destroyed by our waste. Anyways, this sounds kind of morbid, but I really think living intentionally would slow us down to really enjoy that every moment of life. Enjoy every conversation you have. Enjoy every time you get to get up from your chair and walk across the room to get water, something like that. Like that's my experiment, to really soak in every moment of life, because I don't want it to pass me by without thinking about what I'm doing and enjoying what I'm doing. And anyways, last thing, if you cling to your life, you'll lose it. If you give it up for my sake, you'll find it. So which kind of is the main thing of this is, hey, it's not about filling me. It's about intentionally giving up myself, right? You challenged me on what can we do? Well, we are called to sacrifice. Intentional living is not, oh, nice, it's easy, it's nice for me. No, it's actually asking the hard questions of ourselves. How are we impacting other people? How are we impacting the natural world? And how can we be better for them? Because we are so loved, and the world needs to know it's so loved. Anyways, it won't be that long, but this is just for my record, so you don't have to watch the whole thing anyways. Awesome.